The heavy doors of Kashyap Bowen closed with a final, echoing thud, sealing Falak inside the tomb-like silence of her home. The air inside felt stagnant, weighted with the scent of lilies that had begun to rot in their vases, remnants of a celebration that had turned into a wake. She walked toward the living room, her steps faltering when she saw a lone figure framed against the massive bay window. Ajay Kashyap sat in his high-backed wing chair, his silhouette looking fragile against the pre-dawn light. He wasn't looking at the garden. His eyes were fixed on the main gate, the very spot where Saksham's car had just disappeared. Neither spoke. The distance between them was filled with the unspoken shame of the last 3 days. Ajay didn't ask where she had been at 4 in the morning, and Falak didn't ask why he was still awake. Instead, he offered her a small, trembling smile, a flicker of warmth in a face that had aged 10 years overnight. Falak felt a sharp, physical ache in her chest. This man, who had built an empire with his bare hands, now looked like a man standing amidst ruins. She walked to him silently and sank to the floor, resting her head in his lap just as she had when she was a child. "Couldn't sleep," she whispered. It was a confession, and an inquiry rolled into one. Ajay's hand, spotted with age and shaking ever so slightly, came down to stroke her hair. The touch was gentle, a rhythmic comfort that felt like the only steady thing left in her world. "The stars are too loud tonight, child," Ajay whispered, his voice a rasping thread of its former strength. "They keep reminding me of the dreams your mother and I wove for you and a beer. It's hard to sleep when you realize the foundation you built for your children was made of sand." His voice was thick, tiered. "Papa, don't say that," Falak murmured, closing her eyes. "Listen to me, Falak," Ajay continued, his thumb tracing the line of her forehead with profound love. "In life, the storm doesn't ask if you're ready. It just arrives. I've spent my life protecting you both from the wind, forgetting that trees only grow strong when they have to lean against it. My heart bleeds not for the shares we lost, or the name they are dragging through the mud, but for the light I see dying in your eyes and the silence that has swallowed your brother. A father's greatest failure isn't losing his wealth. It's seeing his children lose their peace." He leaned down, his forehead briefly touching hers. "Don't let your heart turn into stone just because the world is throwing rocks at you. Stay soft, my love. The world is cruel to the soft, but the hard ones, they break, and I cannot watch you break." Falak raised her head, looking into the eyes of the man who was trying so desperately to hide his own agony to keep her upright. The wisdom in his words settled into her bones, but it didn't make her soft. It made her solid. "Everything will be fine, Papa," she whispered. Her voice wasn't just assuring, it was a vow. "I promise you, the sun will rise on this house again." She stood up, kissing his weathered hand before turning toward the grand staircase. As she ascended into the shadows of the upper floor, her mind became a cold, sharp blade. "I will find the truth," she promised herself, her fist clenching the fabric of the shawl Saksham had draped over her. "If Bai is innocent, I will find the proof. And if he is hiding something to protect someone, I will tear that secret out of him myself." She glanced toward Abir's closed door, then toward the window where the road led back to Saksham. She was no longer just the daughter or the sister. She was a Kashyap, and she was going to hunt down the shadows that had dared to touch her family. The moon had finally dipped below the horizon, leaving Falak's room in a ghostly, pre-dawn gray. She stood by the window, her gaze fixed on the empty driveway where Saksham's SUV had been parked this morning. His warning echoed in her mind, cold and warning. "Don't come out until I call you. Don't defy me, Falak. I mean it." Just like before. "Go to hell, Saksham. You don't own me," she whispered to the glass, her breath fogging the pain. The nerve of him. To think he could betray her and return as a dark shadow of himself, and then dictate her movements as if she were a pawn on his ruthless and corrupt chessboard. He wanted her to sit quietly while her brother's life was dismantled. He didn't know her at all. Not anymore. She turned away from the window, her heart racing with a newfound, jagged energy. If a beer wouldn't speak, and Saksham was playing a double game, she would have to find her own way into the London ruins. That Sana is a snake and Fakal knows it, and given the past, Saksham has always protected his precious Sana, no matter how wrong she is. He always lets Sana bully her. Maybe that is why he wants her to stay away from finding the truth, so he can shield her. No, she will dig the truth, but from where to start? Her first thought was Naina. Naina was the bridge, the one person who might have seen a crack in a beer's armor or that bitch Sana. That Falak had missed. Yes. She grabbed her phone and dialed. The number you are trying to reach is currently switched off. Falak frowned, her thumb hovering over the screen. She tried again, same mechanical voice. Naina never switched off her phone. Not during a crisis. Not when the Kashyap and Arora families were in the middle of chaos. A cold prickle of unease crawled up Falak's spine. Naina was supposed to be at the Arora mansion, but with the way things were escalating, silence was a dangerous omen. Had the Aroras locked her away? Or had the Singhanias reached her too, to silence her? But Naina was never the one to obey others. Maybe she is busy. She scrolled frantically through her contacts, looking for anyone who wasn't tied to the Singhals or the Singhanias. Her fingers slowed, then stopped, on a name she hadn't looked at in months. She remembered the phone call from yesterday, the calm, steady voice that had felt like a life raft in a stormy sea. I know the world around you feels like it's collapsing, Falak, but you and your family aren't alone. Whenever you need help, whenever the shadows get too long, just ask me. I'm only a call away. He was the only person who had reached out without a motive, without a threat, and without a 9-year-old debt. He was powerful in his own right, a man whose influence rivaled even the Singhals, yet he moved with a quiet elegance that Saksham had long ago traded for ruthlessness. She stared at the contact name, her mind a battlefield of hesitation. Saksham would be livid if he knew she was reaching out to him, but then again, Saksham didn't own her. If Naina was missing and a beer was a walking ghost, she couldn't afford to be picky about her allies. This man had the resources to dig where Saksham wouldn't, and the distance to see the truth clearly. Falak took a deep breath, her thumb trembling slightly over the call button. I need to know, she breathed. She pressed the button. The phone began to ring, the sound echoing in the silence of her room like the ticking of a clock. As she waited for him to pick up, she looked back at the driveway. The war was no longer just about who was telling the truth. It was about who she could trust in a city full of wolves. And as the line clicked open on the other end, Falak realized she might have just invited another predator into the fold. Hello, a smooth, cultured voice answered. It's me, Falak said, her voice steadying. Can we meet?